Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to properly clean an Epilog laser. The model that I have is a 60 watt mini. It's got a 12 by 24 bed and can run up to 7 inches deep. Now, the tools we're going to need for doing this, we're going to call this the once monthly clean. That's different from the cleaning that you'll do every other day or every day depending on how much you run your laser. First off, we're going to need paper towels. We're also going to need the Allen wrench that fits here and here, a Phillips head screwdriver, some lens cleaner, which I'm still running with the Epilog bottle. It lasts a really long time, and some Q-tips for doing your wiping. Now that we see this, I'm going to move all of this out of the way, and we're going to get started. To properly clean your laser takes roughly half an hour, so this video should run somewhere around that long. Now, of course, I am going to have my laser turned off. I'll remove the grid table. Beneath you can see the catch-all tray is full of stuff, so we're going to go ahead and dump it. Now, when the power's off, your arm can be moved anywhere you like. So we're just going to move it way back here out of the way, and we're going to clean this section first. For this, we're just going to use regular window cleaner and zap it. Let it set for just a few seconds, and then paper towels will help scrub it clean. I normally just start on one side and go from there. What I'm cleaning now is just the measuring bars and little clamps that hold down the tray. Now, occasionally you'll get some gunk on here that is just too strong to wipe off with window cleaner or whatever abrasive cleaner you're using. I mean, look at this stuff. It's just not scrubbing very well at all. In which case, just a regular toothbrush, douse it in some window cleaner or whatever you want to do, and then scrub it lightly. And as you can see, it comes a lot cleaner with a little brush. You could honestly scrub this until it's as clean as you like. For me personally, I just want to make sure that I can see all the numbers and that it's not all covered in gunk. Because the oily residue that comes off of engraving and cutting is kind of a pain. Now, if you haven't made one of these yet, I suggest you do so. And all this is a zip tie wrapped around a bunch of other zip ties. What we use this for is cleaning inside the vent. You just slide it in and wrap it around, and it knocks anything that's gotten taut or firm on there, because you need proper airflow for your ventilation system to work. You want as much air movement as you can get, so to clean out all the smoke and stuff as fast as possible and add a little bit of life to your laser. Now, once we've gotten this cleaned and scrubbed good enough, we're going to go ahead and work here. Now, this is why we need our screwdrivers. On the Mini, there are 2 screws on the front, 5 on the back that need to be taken off so that we can remove the housing. And the housing just lifts off like so. And inside you can see there's some gunk and stuff in there that I'm going to go ahead and clean out with paper towel. This is mostly just dust and stuff that's blown up through the jobs that you've done. It wipes out easily most of the time. Every now and then, if you've had a lot of blowback and flare-ups, you'll end up with some scorch mark and stuff in here that you'll have to actually scrub. But there's none of that here currently. So. Alright, we're going to set that off to the side. Now here you see your air hose. That's what this is. That looks, matter of fact that air hose right there has been hurt. It's been damaged. Now, luckily it's at the end here, and this has been caused from a flare up. You know, fire pops up in there, and I don't know if you can see it, but let's get the camera a little bit closer so you can definitely see it. But right there, can you see where the hose has been torn? Now, this air hose goes to the air assist system. And if I don't fix it, what happens is the air assist doesn't assist. So I need to go get some snips. On occasion, you'll need to replace this hose. I order my replacement parts from Epilog directly. So this hose, I believe, cost me $7. And the last time I replaced it, I ordered 3. So we come step back just a little and snip it. Alright, so we've got a good hose there. Leave that there for a minute, and then we just work on getting this pulled off. Being gentle, not to damage the housing. I remember, if it's gotten hot enough to melt like that, it's probably gotten hot enough to seal the thing around here. So. And see, I can't get this to twist at all, which means this done melted onto the housing. That's not a big deal. We can still pop it off. Just make sure you don't do any yanking. You definitely don't want to yank any of this. That'd be a very, very bad thing to do. And then we'll tighten this back down because I loosened it. And that'll hold it in place. Nice and snug, good to go. And we had enough slack that we still have plenty of room for it to go all the way to either side and not be overly tight. That's something that you have to watch out for as well. Okay, next we're going to clean this area right here, the actual belt. So to do that, you just go from one end to the other, just like that. Yeah, Tiff. Okay. Okay, well my door's unlocked. Just come on in. Alright, bye. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and take off the housing for the lens right here. You don't have to do this for every time you clean, but at least once a month you want to take it off and get a proper cleaning. And what this does is it frees you up and makes sure that your laser is always firing strong. And be careful with these screws also. Be careful with all screws. And you see how it's kind of yellowed over. Yellowing is one thing, but you can see the nastiness in here. And that's just not something we want to deal with. This way I can get in here and really scrub, and that's what I'm going to do now, and then set it off to the side. So just a couple drops right on the end of your Q-tip here. We're going to clean first off the bottom of the lens. Look at that nasty stuff. That has been in between your laser and your material. So that's a no-no. Alright. Then I'm going to do another Q-tip for the top of the lens. And we're going to clean down inside here. And see, there's not a whole lot of trash coming off of that. So we got lucky, the majority of the trash was on the bottom of the lens. And then I'm going to go ahead and clean this mirror while we're up here and get it done. And scrub the entirety of the housing after that. A lot of this has nothing to do with function, it just looks good. So, now we're clean, no prints. I'm going to set this off to the side and leave it there for now. And we're going to come back. I've got a little bit of grease here for the bearings that you apply every 3 months. For me, I'm due, so it doesn't take a whole lot. You just dab a little Whoa, 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 whoa. How dare you do that to me? Whatever. If you have to use your finger, you have to use your finger. The top and bottom of this rail need to be hit. And then you run back and forth over it and make sure the grease is nice and spread. And clean up any mess you make, because you will likely make a mess like I just did. Okay, and then back together, and as you can see, I'm getting low on my grease. I've only got maybe 3 more shots of it. Okay, once we've gotten that done, we need to clean the sensor strip. And the sensor strip is this little clear spot right here. And I don't know if the camera, I've never been able to get the camera to really show it. We're going to look and see, but it's dirty. So you see I'm touching it right here. Now my finger's behind it. That strip tells the laser when to fire. And if it gets dirty, and it does get dirty just like everything does, once it gets dirty it becomes an issue of delay, and you'll end up with letters that instead of being straight up and down like this, come out like this, really stretched and nasty. And I'm just opposed to that. I spend too much money on my materials and I just can't have it. See, look at this stuff coming off of there. It's terrible. Make sure you clean the front and back. And then after you've cleaned it, go behind it with a dry Q-tip, just to make sure you didn't leave any oil, or not oil, alcohol cleaning solution. Alright, then I'll run it back to that side. Use the other end of this Q-tip, because I haven't used it yet, and get this end right here. And then once more with a dry Q-tip. Okay, once we've got that done, it's time to go ahead and clean the housing down here and the plunger, because it gets really nasty. Now a lot of times I just use paper towels. Sometimes I'll use a rag. Sometimes I'll actually use real alcohol, but normally I start with window cleaner. Just douse it, rub it around a bit. You'd be surprised how much stuff will come off just because you apply window cleaner and rub it a bit. And you want to scrub it as best as you can. The big part here is the bottom. You don't want the bottom to keep this black nastiness that's on there. Now, if you find you're having trouble getting stuff off, just grab a Q-tip, put some more lens cleaner on it, and go to town with a little, almost like you're toothbrushing it to clean it. This stuff comes off pretty easy. but sometimes it's on really thick. Okay, once that's done, back to paper towel, getting it done upright. Now it's nice and shiny the way it should be. Okay, next we're going to go ahead and put this back on. Remember to start both screws before you finish either. That way you've got a nice line up and you don't risk damaging anything. Okay, now it's time to put the housing back on. Carefully, we don't want to damage anything. I like to put my front screws on first because it helps line up the back. You can see the back screws are already lined up since we did the front screws first. Now, after that, we clean the glass. Pretty sure you don't need me to tell you how to clean glass. Now, look at what was on the glass. It's disgusting, I know. I can put this bad boy back in. Now, as I said, today we're doing a cleaning that is not your everyday, every other day cleaning. We're actually going to pop the sides off of this bad boy. Or, well, we're going to pop this one side off and clean the second mirror set. You don't clean your second mirror set often. There's no reason to. It doesn't really get that dirty. But every few months, you'll realize you're getting a lot weaker power to your laser and you just won't know why. Pop the screws off. Boom, boom, done. Now, inside here, there is a mirror back here that never gets dirty. and I've never had to clean mine. And then there's this one that's on the end of this bar and moves with it. That one you'll have to clean, I suggest, once a month. Just to protect yourself. You don't want any damage. And you definitely don't want your laser to be burning weak. Yeah, there's nothing there. Again, there's another belt over here, just like there is here. It's really easy, and it's only ever dust that's really on there, so a quick wipe gets it nice and clean. Those are really just for longevity. Pop our screws back in. We're going to clean the top of the glass in just a second. I'm going to go ahead and pop these other two screws in here. Okay. We are back together. Last little bit of cleaning is the top glass and the outer housing. Okay, and that is how we clean an Epilog laser top to bottom. Thank you for watching, and please, if you haven't already, follow the channel. Have a nice day.